Who's there? Can you hear me? How was the sound? Nobody there. All right, I'll just keep talking. I don't know what happened to the sound on that one, but it went off for some reason. I've got no idea why. I'll have a drink anyway. I've given a zero. If there's anybody still about, give me a shout. I don't know why the sound isn't on. It went off. Maybe because I got a call. I know it's ringing this time of night. 10:30. I shall wait for somebody to join. Hi. Is any sound yet? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because I was doing it. Oh, good. Yeah. I don't know what happened to the sound earlier. Somebody rang in the middle of it, and I think it interfered with the sound. That's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Thanks for that. Because there was quite a lot of people interacting there, and I got a call and must have knocked the sound off or something. What I was just talking about was just general alcoholism. If you want to talk about anything, give us a shout. What happened to you? Why do you think people relapse? Thanks for that one. I just think that what we need to do as a group is to get together, because a lot of us will fall off the wagon, especially this time of year, especially at Christmas as well. That's another big time. 2 years off, that's good. That's really good. Well done. 2 years off is magnificent. Did they put these glasses on? I can hardly see the screen. No, it's not good. Oh, that's good. If you can keep off it, the longer you're off it, the more chance you've got of staying sober for life. So I think it's 2 years. After 2 years, you've got a 90% chance of staying off it for life, because your life gets better. Saying that, 8 years, I was off for 8 years and went back on it again. No sound again. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with this. I'll have to check the phone. Can anybody else hear me or not? Or maybe I'll get the phone checked out and try it again tomorrow. Can you hear me now? This is the problem with these lives, isn't it? Oh, good. Okay, so there's somebody else on there. Oh, good. Right. Thanks, Pep. To you. Right. So, what do you think then can be done as a group to make people feel more secure? Because I realise there's a lot of very clever people here. I'm not clever. I've just been through it. I nearly died, you know. Right. Cheers, Dennis. Thanks. I just want people to realise, hi, from 3 weeks off the booze, 33. You're very young. Keep off it. Keep off it, because you started young, 15. Thank you. Cheers. I'm glad this sounds better. As a group, what can we do? How can we help each other? Because I don't think that the AA helps many people that I know. I've never been I know. And the biggest thing I want to stop people doing is relapsing. So basically, if we can get some ideas of helping other people, because if I'd had somebody to talk to, when I'd said, look, I met this woman, she wants me to drink again, they would have probably said, don't fucking drink. Keep off the booze, because it's going to kill you. That's the thing. Because we all drink for different reasons. We all relapse for different reasons. And when I've spoken to medics, they're not alcoholics like you and I or heavy drinkers. They just know, because of what they've seen in the history of patients. If somebody's going to relapse, they need some support, because you can be off for a week and start to feel better. So we need like a weekly thing or a daily thing or a monthly thing where we can all get together and think, right, who's near relapse, who's relapsed, and get them off it. Because when you relapse, you've got to get back on the sober trail again as soon as you can. That's the saving grace, if you get back sober. Because if you can't get back sober and you can't get medical intervention, it's very difficult to get medical intervention in the UK. I've been a guy in Greece who I helped over Christmas. He's sober now, 6 months. He got diazepam or Librium over the counter. Well, not from over the counter. He got them easily from his doctor. So there's got to be a way that we can help each other and check in somewhere when you want to relapse. Because after 8 years, if I'd had this to go to, I wouldn't have drunk again, you know. So I would have said to anybody who's on here, Chris or somebody, what do you think on this drinking? Yeah? Yeah, Russell. Well, alcohol free, it was good for me. When I was off for that 8 years, I was drinking something called Bavaria. It was like, that was wory, really. But the Guinness Zero was very good. It replaces, I quite like that little taste of it, you know. That's the thing. That's my girlfriend. One of the control pull the reins. Well, yeah. relationship problems, I started drinking again, you know. But yeah, I do meet old pals, yeah. Lots of them ask me for a drink, and I'll not go. The thing is, if you don't drink and you go and meet them, you don't want to sit and listen to all the fucking drivel, do you? You have a quick drink with them and then you just disappear. You know what I'm saying? So you don't sit there all night. I could go to the pub at 5 o'clock and stay there at 11, but I'm not going to sit there and drink alcohol-free Guinness from 5 to 11 because you don't feel the same, do you? Your life moves on. It's a new chapter, you know. You wake up every morning and say never again. I did that for years. And then you go back to it. That's Russell there. That's just a prime example, isn't it? Because we are used to it, and that's because it's a habit. But like I say, the relapse thing, we need ideas of how we can get somewhere and scale it up. So when any one of us feels like having a drink, I felt like a drink in the summer. Well, actually, it was early in the year. I went to Paris with my partner. I thought, I could just have a drink and that booze. But I didn't, obviously. But sometimes it just, you know, sometimes comes up in your head like, I want to be like, just have one, you know. No, it's just wallpaper. It's clever, isn't it? Very clever wallpaper. So if we can get a way of getting people to stop relapsing, we'll save a lot of lives. One life is enough to make it worthwhile. And I think we've managed to save a few. Like I said, there's a lot of clever people on here. There's loads of experience on this channel now. There's 13,000 people on here. Oh, maybe not all active. There's a lot of people, isn't there? What's the point? I can't have a cup of beer. I agree with that, Russell. Yeah, because you're so used to it, you see. Russell is so used to drinking, he thinks it's going to be the end of his life. But I don't drink anymore, and I've got much more going on. Much more, because once your body heals, your mind heals, everything's better, you know. Thanks for that, you're my crutch. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the good comments, you know. It makes me feel like it's worthwhile. Because it takes a lot of work. My girlfriend pushed me into this about 14 months ago. She said, what are you going to do with your life? Because she's a bit younger than me. I said, well, I'm not really sure. I've been retired. Oh, thanks for that. Chris, cheers. Thank you. That's very good of you. I appreciate that. What are you going to do with your life? So I'm only good at two things. One was the police. And the next one was drinking. She said, why don't you start off the drinking thing? And I'm thinking, what's that about? And then I thought, well, I could maybe do an alcohol-free thing, or you know, get off the booze, and it's really taken off, and I'm really surprised. But I think it's because I'm sort of honest with it, you know, and I'm not frightened to say how it is and how it affected my life. You know, relationships, sex-wise, and just everything. Your whole life crumbles around you. 6 months sober, I can't drink so much. Be a binge drinker. Yeah, it's just the same. It's too much. Oh, too much. The key to it is getting, the mindset. I know, going back on it, you think your mindset has got to be the beer, right? This is alcohol free, right? If that was a pint, I'd think, shit, it's so good to have this pint. But it does you no good. And once you switch this, it's not glamorous to drink, you see. You know what I'm saying? There is light in the tunnel, Russell. There is. That's why I'm here to help you. There is light at the end of the tunnel. How am I still alive? I don't know how I'm still alive. I don't know how I'm still alive, but I'm fit. I'm as fit as next year. I feel better than when I was 23. I was drinking too much then, you know. It is bliss, yeah. Cheers, Chris. After 25 years drinking, it's a different life, isn't it? It's a totally different life. I'm in my 11th month, clear. That's good. Clean and sober, fantastic. You must be feeling better. If you can come off the drink, yeah, you're going to feel better. Because everything's going to repair. Your blood pressure will come down. You sleep better, you'll eat better, you'll feel better. And there's nothing better than waking up in the morning thinking, wow, I feel good. Because that's the key to waking up and thinking, oh, I've got the whole day ahead of me. But you can't just think, well, I've got the whole day ahead of me, it's 10 o'clock, I go to Wetherspoons. You've got to fill the time with something healthy. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for that. Best on YouTube. I hope I make an impact. I'm here to help people, you know. Yeah, I'm drinking Guinness Zero, but I was just saying earlier, I've been to Dublin with my partner. Never been to Ireland, where I was going. I was for a wedding. That's the only reason I went to Dublin, because the weather's the same as the UK, isn't it? Or England. It's only it's only across the pond, isn't it? Well, not even the pond, it's a bit of sea, 45 minutes from Newcastle. It's not far. But I did like the Guinness Zero. That was the highlight of the weekend, really. And obviously being with my partner. But it's not somewhere I would go again, I don't think, Dublin. Yeah, we just get terrible anxiety. Yeah, Russell again. Anxiety is another big problem. What it does for me, drinking for me, when I got problems with it, it made me very shy again. It took me back to when I was a young kid. I was like a child again. I didn't want to be with anybody, I didn't want to speak to anybody. I didn't want to open any letters, I didn't want to open the door. Well, yeah, you're saying that. Booze instantly reduces anxiety, but it gives you 100 times more. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? That's why you get into this cycle of having a drink and having another drink, because it makes you feel better. Because it takes away, something to do with brain chemicals, isn't it? But once you start hair of the dog, if it's not on holiday, then you're in trouble. If you're doing it at home and then you start top drinking, it's really bad. You've got to really push it. And this is what we need to do. We need to do this all the time, talk like this, because everyone will get something out of this. You can ask each other questions, see? And if you've got somebody to bounce off, it's much better than isolation. Isolation's a big problem for alcoholics, you know, because they don't want to speak to anybody else. My parents didn't understand. My friends didn't understand. The people in the boozer didn't understand because they just wanted to drink. It's only us can understand each other. The doctors didn't understand. They're too busy. Oh, you're drinking too much. Well, how much are you drinking? 10 pints. We always lie. I used to half it. 7 pints. I drink 15. Oh, or you need to cut down to 2. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know, you need something to pull you back. But if you haven't slept for a while, maybe you should do a one-to-one thing. I'll speak to you and do some sort of personal support, because you might need it, you know. Another thing that sounds a bit black of this, but it causes a lot of depression, some suicides, all sorts of things. It's a very dangerous thing, this. Michael died of liver failure. Died in hospital. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it, liver failure? It's the worst thing ever. So chance of drinking today. How you doing? Scooter Bob, yeah. My eyes need tested, you know, fucking hell. It's a light, I think. A lot of people self-medicate is not the answer, 100%. If you can get diazepam, Neil, where did you get diazepam from? I couldn't get it. 9 years, brilliant, that's incredible, 9 years. Just keep off it. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. That if Scooter can get off it, he's been off 9 years, I've been off it 5.5. If we can do it, you can do it. I mean, I was extreme case. There are other extreme cases. How many pints a week did you drink? Do you know, I reckon at the end I wasn't drinking much because my liver was so fucked. And my body was so knackered I couldn't drink much at all. Diazepam is like basically alcohol in liquid form. It's like Valium. You know what I'm saying? I haven't got a stream schedule. I only just started doing it last week, but maybe, what do you think? Let's get 3 or 4 people with a similar sort of, or more than that, 30 or 40 who are going to join at a certain time, you know? I don't come of age, 51, 14. Well, yeah, a long time, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be real diazepam. Don't get it off the internet. I tried, it didn't work. It made me worse. I was taking the internet stuff and I was drinking as well. Eventually I put my hands up with the doctor and said I've been doing this. He still wouldn't give me the real diazepam. And I actually see him now, not socially, but I see him in the street. And so he retired early. He retired early from the NHS with a stress ticket. He came out with stress. God knows what he's drinking. What ABV was I drinking? Stella's, Peronis, that sort of thing, you know, 5 to 7. But some of this other stuff, there's some very strong logs about nowadays, isn't there? Benzos, yeah, it's very difficult to get benzos now, you know. Much more difficult than they used to be. Does docs, well, yeah, but the docs don't want to give it out, you know. But they do stop you. The problem with getting benzos, I've been on and off them for a few years, and I went off for 8 years, and I went back to the doctor after 8 years, and he said, you get addicted. I said, well, I haven't had any for 8 years. How can I be addicted? I've not had anything for 8 years, no pills, no medication. What it is you go back. The doctor's fear is you'll have have a couple of pills, get off it for a week, and go back on the piss. That's the problem, isn't it? That's the issue you've got. So you've got to just hit the booze again immediately, you know. That's the problem. My partner drinks very rarely, once every month if we go away abroad or something. My ex-wife didn't drink at all. And that's caused a massive conflict, that was. When I was, I got married far too young, 23. That was a disaster. But my present fiancée doesn't. She's very fit. Why do I not have any problems? That reads, maybe you don't have any problems because you're younger, you're fitter, your body's better. Some people can drink heavily and not get any problems at all, but they're rare. The average person, 90% of people who drinks too much will have some sort of issue, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's a liver disease, or kidney problems, or they'll have an accident, or they'll try and commit suicide, or they'll get depressed, or they'll have anxiety, they won't be able to go out of the house, they'll be housebound. I want to see a lad in Gateshead, he's quite a wealthy chap actually. He couldn't leave the house. And he was basically he's pretty wealthy, paid £18,000 for rehab, got back to his flat, and 7 hours later he was drinking a bottle of vodka. Hardcore alcoholics don't even like drinking. That's very true. Yeah. If you're an alcoholic like I was, hardcore, or just the bottom of the bottle, I hated drinking, but I had to have some to stand up, to get out of bed, to even just put some water on my face, to feel alive. Because I thought I was going to die, I really did. Really, really bad. And, it's bad. It's not a good place to be. And you see these guys and girls in Wetherspoons, and I'm just using that as an example, they just sit with a pretend to read a newspaper. They're all single, they're all bored out of their minds, and they're just waiting for the next person to come in, buying a drink, aren't they? But when I was younger, I always associated alcohol with glamorous things, with successful people. I fell over in my own living room a couple of weeks ago, and now but still, I've done that before, Russell. I've felt it many times, broken ribs and all sorts. Because sometimes you black out and you don't know you've blacked out. 10 pints, 4%, got to get off that. Start cutting it down, been out twice. Didn't realise the failure rate was so high. Was that, Dave, NHS rehab or private? I don't even matter what type of rehab it is. I know I couldn't get in any rehab. I begged 2 doctors for Tasman, couldn't get it. I asked for help, couldn't get it. It was really bad. Really, 5%, that's okay. It's okay if you don't drink too much of it. The problem is when you start drinking every day, that's the problem, isn't it? You're drinking every day and your liver's not getting the rest. See, sometimes when I was on night duty, I used to come home at 7 o'clock in the morning and have 2 or 3 cans, maybe 4 or 5 cans. It's not a massive amount, but every day it is, isn't it? You're drinking that every single day. Your liver's just getting hammered. And then my days off, I'd have 20 pints. 25. It was mad where I lived in Central London. I came from a small market town in Northumberland. Going to London was like Hollywood for me. The booze were there was loads of pissheads there, there was loads of women about. It was just an amazing life. I thought it was anyway. I earned quite good money in the place. I was a young sergeant. I got loads of overtime. And the pub scene was huge. It still is in London, isn't it? It's a young person's place, really, isn't it? I can quit, no problem, just done 6 months, so, right, okay, that's good. Do you want to stop though, Reece? Do you want to stop for life? That's the thing. Some people don't want to stop for life. I'm dealing with a couple of people at the moment who want to be social drinkers, but they're still drinking too much. And I don't think they can be, because there's a point you pass where you're addicted to alcohol, and you cannot stop it. Progressing any further, it will just keep rolling on. You can't say, if you're drinking 8 pints, you can't go back and say, I'm going to have 2 pints Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Because if you're drinking 8 pints a day, you'll always be drinking 8 pints a day. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Good evening to you. So you're always going to be in this trap, and you'll walk past a pub and think, oh, just have one. When it was your own, won't take you back to 10. My problem was I'm quite a sociable person. I can go to a bar now and just have 0 and still talk to somebody. But if they're drinking as well, have another beer. Hello, how are you? Is that Summer? Cool, I can't read that. And you have 1 or 2, then you just lead on to more and more and more. And that's the problem. Mickey Flanagan, the comedian, he's good to watch. He calls it the flavour. When you get the flavour, exactly, 1 always leads to 10. It's so true that. So you have one or two, you think you're going to go back home, yeah? Hi P, how you doing? You have one or two, and then you think, oh, I better go, I'll just ring the missus, I'm going to be back at 8 o'clock. Then you have 5 by 8 o'clock. By then you don't give a toss, do you? And by 9 o'clock, you've had 7 pints, you think, oh, fuck it, I'm not going home at all. And then you're in the doghouse. But the biggest mistake you could make as a drinker is making the first mistake, because it leads on to more. The first mistake is going to the pub in the first place. So you're driving home, or you're on the run underground home, and you think, I'll just stop off at the Red Line in Kingley Street, which is next to Coventry. So that was my local. The manager was a Geordie as well. Hilarious, really. His brother-in-law was a dwarf, would you believe? So funny. Anyway, we used to drink all day in there. So the first problem I had was going to the pub. Then I'd be late home, then of course domestic. Then I wouldn't have ironed a shirt for work the next day. I probably wouldn't have had a shave probably. But I'd be chasing my tail all the next day with a bit of anger. So the first thing to do is avoid the pub, isn't it? So as soon as you get in the pub, you're knackered. The best thing is the hair of the dog. Well, yeah, it probably is, Peter, when you're feeling rough. But like I said, alcoholism, when you slip from hangover to withdrawals, that's when you're in a real mess, you know, a real mess. And you've got to really pull yourself out of that, because they reckon, and I've seen it myself really, we've all seen it, I'm 63, I've seen a lot of life, most of you probably have as well. You live 25 years less than the general population if you depend on alcohol. But you'll not just live less, the years up to that, you won't live well, you'll just exist. You won't be able to go on holiday, you probably won't have a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a good point there. One is too many, 1,000 is never enough. It's very true that. As soon as I don't know anybody who's relapsing has been able to stop straight away. This have one. They'll have 10, and they'll maybe have 10 next day, and they'll start getting sober again. For some reason, we just hit that one. I was off for a couple of years once, and I had a date with this bird, and I'd never met her before, online thing. So I thought, I've been off for 2 years, I had a load of Stella in the cupboard, I just have one. When I took that drink after 2 years sober, I've never taken drugs. Well, I had a bit of cannabis once, but I don't smoke, so it had no effect. It was like taking a drug in my body. I had this, no, it was a bottle of Stella. So I thought, I'll have another one. And I thought, I'll not drink. And then I did drink all night, and then I was back on it again. Just one drink. So the one drink can lead you down into a whole load of trouble, really, can't it? A whole world of trouble. Somebody there really said he doesn't get hangovers. Feeling a bit rusty. Maybe, yeah. I got terrible hangovers. I don't know about anybody else here. I couldn't ever recover quickly. Even when I was young, I used to have a thick head and feel rough, you know. It wasn't good. Clear something for me. What's behind you on the wall? It's just wallpaper. It's a book effect wallpaper. By an ex-girlfriend put on. Man takes a drink takes a drink, then a drink takes a man, very true. That's why people die, isn't it? So for 6 months thought I was cured and had a few drinks on a Saturday and ended up in hospital. There you go. Yeah, godly guns. It's very true. Have one and you're fucked, basically. Yes, wallpaper. So that's the problem. The first one. Keep away with the first one. I only went to 2 AA things that didn't do me. There's no book sent, it was just wallpaper. The first thing to do is say AA. And Paul Gascoigne, everybody knows Paul Gascoigne. He spent millions on rehab, still no better. He said, don't pick up the first drink. You know? That's the first one gets you drunk, yeah, it's true. Made my stomach, yeah, not good. Bad stomach, bad digestion system, high blood pressure. Can you tell me one good thing alcohol does? Because I can't think of any. It was good when I was about 18, you trying to chat to girls. That was about it. And I played in a band. I was a good bass player, to give me a bit of Dutch courage on stage. That was about it. The rest of it was just a lot of nonsense, really. And the amount of money. Hi, Helen. How are you doing? The amount of money that I spent is, I was paying central London prices for booze. I hate to think what that is now. It was €6.50 for a Guinness Zero in Dublin yesterday. It'll be 12 in parts of London. It's madness, the price. The amount of money, I earned a lot of money, but I spent a lot of money. Again, that causes issues, isn't it, in the family and all that. I think £10 once or twice a month. That's not bad. Once or twice a month isn't bad. You'll live on that. It's when you're starting to drink lots. People can be very purist about this and say, "Oh, you shouldn't have." Alcohol free has got 0.00001% of beer. Fruit's got some alcohol in it, you know. That you've got to be sensible about it, you know. The first alcohol drink wasn't nice, maybe not. You drink to make stomach normal, yeah. You drink to make everything normal. I drank. I was so anxious. I drank to try and get over the anxiety. It never worked, you know. It never works. The only thing that's going to work for you and I is not having anything. I drink 30 plus cans of beer daily a day on benzos. I never eat. Whew. How are you coping then? Have you seen the doctor? I mean, 30, sorry, 20 plus cans. Even 20 is a lot of drink, isn't it? Depends what strength you're, but even so. Yeah, Mr. Mason, a lot of money. You don't just lose money, you know. You lose productivity. You lose the chance of promotion and all this sort of thing. And you don't do any investing. All you want is the next drink, isn't it? I was feeling well, sober 6 months, next day, panic attacks. That's a bad thing. I was talking to somebody the other day in Durham who actually recognised me from here, and we came to the car when I was in the car doing one of these, and he was on about supermarkets. I couldn't go to big supermarkets, you know, these big hypermarkets like Asda and B&Q and all that. I couldn't go on any of those, you know. If I could speak to my 20-year-old self, what would he say? If I could speak to my 21-year-old self, what would I say? Don't get married and don't drink. Not until I was older. That's what I would say. But yeah, a lot of times I felt panicky, you know, in these supermarkets. Now I can walk anywhere. I'll fly again. I couldn't even get on a bus. I could only get in a taxi. I stopped driving. I used to get panicky on motorways. You say it's better to drink lager than spirits. It makes no difference, Russell, to be fair. It's all the ethanol in it. But because I like the long drink, I couldn't actually fancy wine, because I just drink a bottle of wine, didn't I? In 10 seconds. I mean, I'll drink this alcohol-free stuff. I got 10 cans of it last night. One of them packs, 12.50 or what it was. Well, it was a bit more than that. I was in Dublin. And my partner says, God, you drink that non-alcoholic drink like an alcoholic, like a non-alcoholic alcoholic. Because I like the volume, if that makes sense. It's a bit daft, that. I sound a bit crazy. But I've got used to drinking such a high volume of a liquid. So I didn't drink water. I can't drink water. I can't drink 10 pints of water, can you? But the Guinness Zero's got a bit of a taste to it. Another one, a good one's Erdinger. But it's not as good as the Zero. Guinness is really good. 1 month sober. 8.5 months sober, that's good. Anybody can get sober for 24 hours is doing well, you know. Retired now, 67. Find it easier controlling my addiction. Not that I'm older. Maybe, Todd. But I know a lot of people in their 60s who are drinking more. A lot of the guys who are retired from the police with have died through alcohol. They moved abroad, moved to Spain, things like that, Greece, where alcohol's cheap and they just drink themselves to death. I don't think you become any more sensible. If you've got a few quid and you like going to the boozer, you like a drink, you're going to drink more, aren't you? It just depends on your circumstances. I don't think that the age has got much to do with it, unless you've been ill like I have. I've become sensible now because I know I'm going to pass away. When I was 30, I thought, well, I'm young and fit. I'll be able to bounce it off. You know, it'll not bother me. But as you get a bit older and you start to get a few aches and pains, and I mean, to be honest with you, I'm on no medication. Most of the guys I know, and girls, especially men, are on blood pressure tablets, and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So if you can get off it, your body will be better. See, my partner's very fit. She's a lot younger than me. Not a lot younger, but quite a bit younger. But she encouraged me to eat well. I don't live with her, but when we go for a meal, we'll have something good, you know. We'll not drink. Obviously, because I don't drink. She doesn't drink very much. The odd glass of wine. So if you're with a partner who doesn't drink, it helps as well, you know. Lager, anything else? Minging. Yeah, it's a good point. Reese, I couldn't drink any much other than lager. Stella was my favourite. I don't know why. Maybe that was the only premium one around years ago. But another reason that people are dying younger of alcohol-related disease, especially cirrhosis, is because they drink so much stronger. When I started drinking, there was like things like John Smith's 3.5%. It was like piss water nowadays when you think about it. Now you've got these other beers at 5, 6, 7% lagers and stuff. Is it possible to blood tests? You can't beat the blood test. The blood test will sometimes come back fine, even though you got liver damage. That's why it's called the silent killer. If you Google it, the silent killer. So the blood's can come up. My blood's come fine. I've got cirrhosis, but it's under control. You see. 2 weeks ago, I'm drinking too much. All doctors will say you're drinking too much. Drinking too much water. Cut down 10 glasses a day. Oh yes, because you saw that's hyponatremia, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Well, you were in hospital, Jackie, and hospital with that, because that's something to do with you drinking too much fluid. Then it can cause your sodium level. My sodium level was down to 119, and nearly went into a coma out of an emergency operation when I was in hospital in Newcastle. My heart is a great. Yeah, my heart is a great doctor's. But yeah, there's lots of good channels about it. Blackcurrant and Guinness, yeah, that's a good one. That would be nice with the zero, actually, especially if you can get the draft stuff. Stella was doing about 10 years ago now, yeah. Stella's always been around, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what you mean. Stella was a drink, wasn't it? Yeah, but there's other stuff taken over from that, isn't it? What's it called? There's one beginning with H or something. Oh no, D, Duvel. Was mentioned to me the other day. That's supposed to be quite strong. Where do you recommend starting to get help without being judged? Here? You're going to be judged here, right? We're all in the same boat, mate. We're fighting to get out of it. Some of us managed to get out, but how long we'll stay out is a different question. Anybody can relapse, A good food life. Yeah, very good food. Lots of fruit and veg. I didn't eat well over the weekend because we were away, but tonight I made a nice prawn salad, some avocado. Always have 6, 7 veg and fruit and veg a day. Sober 5.5 years. I used to like it. Yeah, blackcurrant, Russell, yeah, I agree with that. Takes the edge off it, doesn't it? But I'd say this Guinness Zero for me is fine. I might try some blackcurrant. It might be a bit sweet for me now. I just got used to it, really. So all of this helps. Good food. Another thing for me is getting back into fitness, because it's a pain in the arse getting up in the morning and putting a pair of shorts on and getting there. But once you're in there, you see other people like yourself who are not physically super fit, but they're quite healthy folk, and you think, wow, I want to be like that, and it's better than being in the boozer, isn't it? Do you have any advice on getting through to my old man? He drinks a lot. I mean, you can tell him harsh truth, he's not going to live long. But I was told that as well by my daughter many times, but I just kept drinking. I can't remember the ALT and such like was. I just know they were terrible. But now they're all fine. My blood tests are now normal. I said there's abnormal, satisfactory, and normal. Mine are back to normal now with no meds. But watch what I eat. I probably could do losing stones, so I've rejoined the gym again. I've always been a member of the gym. Sometimes I used to go twice a week. I'm trying to go 5 times a week now, but I've been quite busy with other things. So if you go 3 or 4 times a week, that's a massive boost for your mental health as well, I don't know how it was. Down alcohol, down. Turned out. Yeah, too much. Yeah, you cannot drink too much water when you've got problems. With in and out. You got to do everything in moderation, but not booze. Obviously, if you've got to drink, but you can't have any booze if you're an alcoholic, because not everyone. There's different levels of alcoholism. I mean, stage 3 is when you're causing yourself problems. That's an alcoholic. But stage 4 is when you're chronic alcoholic, like I was, in active addiction. You're gone then, aren't you? If you're an active as me and eat well, beer's no problem. Maybe, Rez, I don't know. Beer affected me. I'll just speak for myself here. I just think you've got to. You know your own body, don't you? You know when you're feeling well, when you're not feeling, when you're feeling rough. No, that's a good one. Gareth, I'm not sure if it can run in families. I don't think it does. My parents weren't alcoholics, and I was a raging alcoholic because it was my personality. My dad was quite a sensitive guy like me. He didn't drink very much. My mother didn't drink very much. My partner's very sensitive. She's gorgeous, and she didn't drink very much. So there's all sorts of things. People put theories on it. Like I say, my layman's theory is it's an addiction. It's an addiction that comes out of habit. But like smoking, I mean, is smoking genetic? Probably not. So why would alcohol be genetic? So I wouldn't put much faith in that one, that it's part of the family. Maybe it can, but I don't. There's not enough research in that. Yeah, chronic state. Well, I think I was about. I think I was in that state. I couldn't function without a drink. I used to have a can of beer next to my bed. When I was in hospital in the Freeman, which is a liver specialist hospital, there were people bringing in beer for people in that ward. Mental. If you move, grow up. Maybe people you grow up. Yeah, I think you're right there, like Joe. If you maybe your environment, if you're in a family of heavy drinkers, may lead you onto that. But I don't think you. I see what you're saying. But that again, that's habit, isn't it? You copy your parents' behaviour, it becomes your habit, and then you meet people who are very similar. No, I don't. Yeah, Jackie, I don't believe it's genetic, but it could be where you live. Or everyone go to the local estate pub. Do they all sit around with cans of beer at night on the sofa outside in the summer? Sort of staying someone about. Well, I lived on one for a long time. We didn't have much money. My dad was a policeman, just lived in the police house, which was near quite a rough estate. Personal circumstances. Yeah, we can't call people who smoke obsessively, exactly, smoke, yeah. My family are alcoholic. Well, there you go. So, but that can be just because of coincidence, or it could be because, like I said, in the environment, if everyone's sitting around, there's 4 or 5 people in the house, and they're all drinking, what are you going to do? You'd probably join in, won't you? It's a bit like, they're all smoking, you're going to smoke. It's a bit like, I know it sounds a bit, don't take offence here, but when you say people are a bit overweight, a couple who are overweight, the children tend to be overweight. Not because they want to eat more, they just give them more food. Maybe it's something to do with that. It's the environment, yeah. Yeah, this is so up with the pub. It is very clever at marketing, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's always in the soap, always in the soaps. Breweries make millions, billions of pounds. The government tax receipts are so big, they'll never have a ban. I do miss the police, yeah. It wasn't difficult for me to retire, to be honest with you, because I've always been quite interested in other things. This is why I drank. I think I'm probably a bit of an ADHD, a bit hyper. But I do. What I missed more than the job, the police service, was being in London with mates. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol use disorder. Yeah, that's good. Good expression. Alcohol use disorder. So yeah, I did miss the police, but it was more because of the London vibe, if that makes sense. I didn't want to be a policeman in Leeds or Newcastle, because that would have bored me silly. But West End, I went from South London very quickly when I got promoted to West End Central. West End Central is going to be the best station in the country to work, because you've got everything in there. You've got royalty visits, you've got government stuff, you've got diplomatic protection, you've got special branch, you've got all these different things going on. There's always something happening in the centre of London. Every day of the year, isn't it? There's always a march or a parade or something going on. So we'll wrap this up in a minute. Now, let's try and think of a time. What time would people want to do this for? What days are best? I'm trying to hit the relapse thing. I think people relapse for the weekend. Maybe I'm wrong. When it comes to Friday, yeah, I was in 7/7, yeah, but I was on annual leave. I was also on annual leave when Prince Diana was in that crash. I was in Italy. And the Sunday morning, I remember saying to my ex-wife, God, Diana's in the papers a lot. It was quite a remote part of Italy. Not many people spoke English. And obviously their local magazines were all in Italian. And I found out through a friend that she'd died. And I did the funeral thing, which is a very emotional thing. But yeah, that was bad. But no, I missed the 7/7 only because I was away on holiday. But it was London's always been a bit of a tinderbox, hasn't it? It's always got issues. As any capital city has, really. That's the thing. Mondays were a good day. Give something, maybe Monday, yeah. Maybe we'll just do them randomly, I think. Does anyone know how we get notifications? Right, what I'll do is I'll put a little short out, like a little short message, you know, any short video, and I'll just say I'm going to go live at whatever time. And then if anyone's specific, then just get in touch with me, Derek. But I just think it's good to talk like this, isn't it? And see what other people think. Because we're all very similar, aren't we? Oh, I should get home. Right, I'll grab a beer. Think about cooking a meal. That's it, yeah. Stephen Jones, just keep busy doing something that's healthy. Take your mind off the drink. I couldn't when I was in active addiction, but if you're not that far yet, pull back from it, because the benefits of sobriety are massive. I didn't think that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, even 20 years ago, because my life's better, you know? It's incredible, really. Even though I'm binge drinking, I can drink responsible. Well, fair, yeah, some people can. Everyone's different. YouTube should be sending. Yeah, I'll try and look into that. If YouTube can send notifications, especially if you dealt with extreme, massive anxiety, not detoxing. When I used to have the diazepam, I'd have 7 days of it, and I'd basically sleep a lot of the time, relax. And as soon as I had that, my anxiety was gone. London accents? No, it's more of a joke. Well, just partner was just saying the other day. It's Geordie accent. Slip back into Geordie. I had to change it from Geordie to London when I was going to court and things. People said, "God, officer, can you speak slower?" Bit of a mixed accent, I think. Right, I think we should do a couple of these. I quite like them. I've only just started. I'm not very good at them yet. I'm not even sure how to switch it on and off, to be honest. But I'll learn, because I think it's useful. And I think stopping people relapsing, Friday's got to be a good day. Friday and Mondays maybe, and see how people have got on. Maybe a stupid question, but if you could go back and never have taken a drink, would you? No, I would. I like to. It's a good question, that Joe. It's a very good, clever question. Would I go back and never have a drink? No, because I wanted to experience it. I needed to experience it, but I just wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't continued with it. I wish I'd got help earlier. I wish I'd stopped earlier. But I used to enjoy it. So it's, what do you do in that situation? You can't just change your personality, You're doing the diazepam treatment. It's good that you can get the diazepam right, because I couldn't get it. It did go. Let me see. So yeah, as I said, well, you did go on mute. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I did. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. So enjoy the chat. Stumble on it. Okay, right. What we'll do is let's think about this. Let's start and do one on a Friday. Definitely Monday night, because everyone's bored, sick of the Monday night, isn't it? Maybe a Thursday night, Monday and Thursday before the weekend, because that's when people are starting to think about drinking, isn't it? Obviously before Christmas and these are and major events. And I think in the summer, when it's really, really nice weather and stuff. You don't get nice weather in the northeast, but I know you do in the south. You need to stick to stopping. Yeah, just stopping. Find diazepam detox much easier. Yeah, it helped me, but it was a long time ago though. But I think what would have happened with me is, and I think the doctors were right in the way, if I'd had it, I would have kept going back to drink. Because it's easy, isn't it? 1 month sober, that's good. Well, it's just, that's really good. What's John, sorry. 1 month sober is fantastic. Just do 2 months now, keep going. And you must be feeling better even after a month, because it's an incredible feeling when you start to feel better and you start to sleep properly. See, it was always a thing for me to get to sleep, because I work shifts, so I always had problems getting to sleep. If anyone doesn't here has ever done a lot of shift work, night duties, early turn and late and things like that, getting to sleep is very hard, because you're not in a pattern. Sometimes you do weeks without a day off, and that sort of thing. Think about my kids, dry January. Dry January is no good. Dry life's better. You know what I'm saying? It's better than nothing. But the problem is that there's only one way to go here. You've got to be committed to it. Because if you're a heavy drinker, you'll always hit the heavy times again. It will do you harm. I mean, I'm not a medical person, but I just know myself, because I've been through it, and I've seen people die. A lad I got quite friendly with in hospital, he died. He went for a routine operation in the morning on a Monday, and saw the nurse come in. She wiped all the scales off the whiteboard, So we said, oh, where's he gone? Oh, he's in recovery. Well, he died, obviously. Well, that's stupid, because your body becomes weak and you become deconditioned. So any shock to the system, like an operation, would just kill you. Really, really bad. But yeah, exactly. What's the point of doing dry January? You might as well do dry year. The thing is, if you can do dry January, you can stop. You can stop for 31 days. You can stop for 31 years, can't you? Think of the money as well. How much money you could save? A fortune. I've got more money now. I was spending £1,500 a month. £1,500 a month. That includes obviously things like, taxis, food I didn't really want, drinks for other people, all this sort of thing. So there's a lot of problems there. How do you know if you're dependent? I've been drinking 12 years. Dependency, really, when you need a drink in the morning, when you need a drink when you wake up, that's dependency. Yeah, that's the problem. Group known as smart recovery. I don't know about smart recovery. I just know the smart recovery is doing it yourself, or getting away not doing it yourself, getting off it if you can. In my 20s, I never thought of being alcohol. Well, yeah, you don't. Do you shake? Yeah, that's it. If you start to shake, if you start to feel dizzy, if you've got nausea, if you coughing up bile, I was coughing up bile, I was coughing up blood now and again. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't. I used to go into pubs like shaking like that, right? And a mate of mine who was a top manager at Burberry's, on Regent Street. He said, use your non-dominant hand. So I used to do my left hand. It was slightly better. And then I used to use two hands. I met a girl a couple of years ago when I was sober. I had a brief tete-a-tete with her. She was drinking wine out of a straw. I said, what are you drinking wine out of a straw for? Stupidly, I didn't realise, but I did very soon realise she was an alcoholic. The straw was good. Father drinks every day. I did a bottle of wine. It's just become cranky every day now. Should I? Yeah, why not bring it up, Neil? You got it, Niall. You got to bring it up. People can't be pushed, If you need a drink and you enjoy a drink, you want a drink. If you want a drink, it doesn't matter who tells you. Whether it's me, you, or the Prime Minister. It doesn't make any difference because you just drink. You feel shaky but not in control. The shaky is that could be just sugar levels, But when it gets past that, and you start to need a drink to feel well, and you start to feel you need a drink to get over the withdrawal, that's when you're in real trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy, this. The reason the doctor's having problems with it is because it's so prevalent, isn't it? I don't know one family I haven't spoken to. I haven't spoken to any families who haven't been touched by some form of alcohol problem, whether it be drink drive or assaults or just people passed away early because of alcohol. I spoke to a woman the other day. She had a couple of her relatives died. Not because I don't think it's linked to the family, just where they lived, the way they lived, and just the deprivation they lived in. There was nothing else to do. The weather was in the northeast, particularly. The northeast always had the highest alcohol-related death rate. The weather's poor, heavy industry, not a lot of money, and that's where you get more deaths. It's all linked to deprivation. That's another subject for another day, isn't it? Yeah, if you've been there for 6 months, you can do 6 years. DTs, yeah, can be fatal, definitely. That's why if you depend, you've got to maybe see the doctor. But it's very difficult. The seizure, I had two seizures. I had one when I'd been drinking a lot. I came up north to try and get off it, and went to my parents' house in Morpeth, Northumberland. And I tried it half a day and I had a seizure on the street. I didn't go to hospital, I just sent a disclaimer. I got my dad to pick me up by 6 o'clock the next night. I found myself in hospital. I don't know how it happened to me. I just passed out in their house. And then they gave me Valium, and I went to see the doctor the next day. It's gone quite a long time, this, 20 odd years ago. And they gave me the diazepam then. And then that's the first course I had. I think about 4 or 5 courses of diazepam, on and off, on and off, on and off. Because when I was younger, I used to feel good after about a year or so. And I used to feel great and look pretty fit and all that. I thought, just go back on it. But I didn't realise I was going to catch up as quick. So you'd have 1 or 2, and then a couple of weeks later, you'd be having 10 again. I just, why have I had 10 now? Why can't I just have 2 on Tuesday and 2 on Wednesday and 4 on Saturday? I couldn't do it. And I'm not stupid. I felt terrible after I relapsed. But you know what happened when I relapsed? This girl I fell in love with, stupidly. It only lasted 6 months. I was frightened to drink, because I knew it was going to take me. I knew it might take me back. So I thought I'll just have a tiny little bit. And then went on holiday to South of France. I drove for like days and days and days with a stupid camper van, which was the size of a Tesco's delivery van, down in Saint-Tropez, and I was so fucking stressed. We parked this camper van up in Saint-Tropez, and I just said, I'm just gonna have a few drinks. But I didn't think I would get in a mess. And getting back again was a nightmare. I could only drive on the country roads, the windy roads, up to the Alps and all, so it was a nightmare holiday that. And she could drive. I couldn't drive on the motorway. I was too scared in case I couldn't get off the motorway. Driving there, just shaking, sweating. I can laugh about it now, it's horrendous. But I have had so many problems with drink. My whole life was drink. The problems it caused, I've got a chaotic life anyway, which is the way I am. Trouble seems to follow me around. And my new partner's the same. Trouble seems to follow her around as well. Both crackers. But the amount of problems I had with drinking, I could talk for... Somebody said to me, you run out of subjects. No chance. Because my life became like a comedy with it, really. But it's quite a serious comedy in the fact that he died with it all. But not good at all. Librium, no, I never had that Librium. It was always diazepam. But like I said, last time I had it was 2006. So it's nearly 20 years, wasn't it? And then I was off from 2006, 2014, totally sober. 2014, relapsed, couldn't get any medication at all. Apart from the stuff I got on the internet, it didn't do me any good at all. Starting for long periods can cause kindling. That's it. It's worth looking at. I know about the kindling effect. It's horrendous. That I think that's where I had a bit of it. When you go off it and you're shocked when you go back on it again. It doesn't matter how long you've been off. The kindling effect's really bad. Shakes the same. Drinking. Caffeine. That's interesting. I don't drink a lot of caffeine, but addicted to diazepam. No, I didn't get addicted to diazepam, Mark. I only had it 4 or 5 times. I enjoyed getting off the booze. I wanted to get off the booze because I got so far down the line. I wanted to get off it. I wouldn't say I got addicted to it, but I think I could have done if I was on and off the booze. It's not good. But it's really basically kind of looking after yourself and trying to see past this mess you're in. Because when you're drinking heavily, you're in a mess. Don't know what people say to me, but I don't have a hangover. If you're drinking too much, you're in a mess. Because it affects your life. And you don't reach your full potential when you're drinking too much. You age much quicker. I think I look reasonable for my age. The guys who are drinking at my age have kept drinking since I stopped. Look 80. Some have died in the last 5 years. Or they've become disabled. They've had strokes, broken hips, financially destitute, and all this sort of thing. There's a massive knock-on effect, It's really bad for you. Really bad. And it's not getting any easier, you see, for people. In fact, it's getting more difficult because of the recessions and job losses and all this sort of thing. So it's something that will be looked at. It's not going to be looked at by the government because they're making too much money. It's got to be somebody's going to have to take. The government level is going to have to get a hold of it, isn't it? Because the amount it's costing the NHS is colossal. The liver wards were at one point 80% male, 20% female. Now it's virtually 50-50. And there's a lot of women dying from alcohol-related diseases, not just liver problems. Really bad, So you've got to really be careful, especially as a woman, or anybody, and focus on yourself and just try and deal with it, because if you drink heavily, it'll take over your life. You know it does, because that's why you're feeling rough, and you can't keep cutting down, starting. It's got to be really conscious decision to say, right, I'm going to change my life. And if you don't do that, you're knackered, really. I used to get extreme anxiety. Yeah, that's the thing when you run short. That's the very good point, this one here, because I had hundreds of cans in the cupboard, When you run short of supply, the panic and the anxiety of not having enough alcohol in reserve is massive. Because you think, wow, I'm gonna run out, even if I've got loads left. When it was winter time, Christ, northeast winters not good. They don't grip the roads very much. I could hardly walk anyway. And trying to walk or trying to get a taxi in the winter, sometimes I wouldn't run taxis. and it was so difficult to get alcohol. I just get like a couple of really solid mates to drop some off. So I'd be staring at the weather forecast the night before, thinking, God, is it going to be frosty tomorrow? Is there going to be any ice? All of this, like all night long, just worried about the weather. I wasn't sleeping properly. The anxiety cuts down your sleep. You don't sleep at all. You just pass out with a drink. It's not good at all, you know. I find taking space to my mind, detach from the earth, reaction to, yeah, that's good. Try and step out of what you're in. That's a good thing. Right, that's fine. If you don't drink all hours, but if you're drinking every night, that's a problem. Just your mind, yeah. You do think about drinking all the time when you need it, because it's a drug, isn't it? I don't think there's any distinction between alcohol and drugs. They're all drugs. A heavy drinker is a drug addict. It's as simple as that. It wouldn't be reclassified. It's only because it's legal and it's socially acceptable, isn't it? Otherwise, it's just a bad thing, which would have been outlawed if it had been invented today. But no doubt somebody would get around it by making hooch or something, you know. But basically, just look after yourself and drop me a line if you want to talk about any subjects. So we'll look at maybe doing one Thursday. Let's say Thursday, 7:00. But I'll find out from YouTube if I can put something in to warn people as well, just alert. I'll put a couple of shorts out as well. But I hope you've enjoyed doing this. It's been quite good, isn't it? I'm going to wear some glasses next time, because I'll see the screen and actually get people's names right. I used to drink every night 10 pints. Well, at least you cut down, Reese, haven't you? It's the everyday stuff. Thanks, Mark. The everyday stuff is a killer. All the binges, it's all bad, you know. It's all bad. It's never going to be any good. And just think how much money you would save. How much better you'd feel. How you get back your old hobbies. You get back your old self. You know, if you could turn the clock back 20 years, we'll all do it, wouldn't we? But it's not being sober. You've probably heard this before. It isn't just adding sort of years to your life. It's adding life to your years, so you can, by my age, and still have a good relationship with somebody, still perform in life, as it were, still travel, still make a bit of money, still enjoy your food, and not be sat in a flat on your own drinking a bottle of whiskey or 12 pints a night or 25 pints a night or whatever you're going to do. Because 6 years ago, I didn't think I was going to live another day. And now I'm doing all sorts. And you can do the same. I'm not saying anybody on here is anywhere near as bad as I would. But there'll be some people on far off. And it's very easy to slip from stage 3 to stage 4 when you're feeling rough. And then you think, oh, bollocks, I'm sick of my life. I'm just going to drink more. And you have a week or two on it, or 6 months on it. Maybe you come with a bit of money, a bit of inheritance or something. Like that. I'm going to just go on the piss for 6 months. And, you just, on the other side of a bender there, think, oh, my life's not worth living. And people do all sorts of bad things, don't they? Yeah, it's good that add life to your years, because life's very precious, isn't it? And when you're 20, you never think you're going to be 40, do you? Oh, you think of somebody who's 40 years old. But when you're 60, and you think, oh, I don't want to die, you know. No, the drug side of it, no. It took a little bit of cannabis once when I was drunk, but that was it. But I didn't smoke, so I couldn't really feel any effect of that. I saw it didn't really, drugs would have killed me off. Alcohol was more than enough for me, you know. You're told not to drink after rehab. Well, yeah, they will tell you to drink the non-alcoholic drinks, but I've drunk them for years and so it caused me problems. £300 to £400 a month. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of cash you're going to save. Not just that, you're going to feel better. What's the point of living a life where you feel like shite all the time? I reckon I was living in a state of withdrawal for 30 years. Some people might have hangover once every 6 months. I had them every day. And I had to do a very responsible job with a hangover every day. And I had to make money every day with a hangover. And I couldn't just go sick. I would have lost my job eventually, wouldn't I? Yeah, alcohol is the worst drug in the world because it's available and it's acceptable, isn't it? Do you ever arrest anyone while you were so? Not really. I was never really drunk at work. I used to have hangovers and felt rough, but I wasn't drinking at work really, I was just drinking after. So I'd look forward to the shift ending. We all did, to be fair. Would do anything not to have an arrest at the end of the shift. You know, especially on late, because late in the West End of London was 2:30 to 10:30. The bruises were closed at 11, and I used to get the last underground, I think it was 11:45, with a bit of paper. Before mobile phones, I had a bit of paper with all the train times on. And I used to run from Kingly Street, which is next to Carnaby Street, basically, from there to Oxford Street to get the train. It was crackers. You know what I mean? Right, I think we'll wrap this up now, and I shall hope you've enjoyed it. We'll start doing a few more every week, and I'll try and give people a bit of notice, yeah? If you want to do it, if it's get the thumbs up and people like it, I don't mind putting a couple of hours in, because it's good to talk to people, isn't it? And then you can maybe bounce a few ideas. What I really want to stop is people are relapsing, because that's what my problem was, and that's what nearly killed me. And I just think if you can stop people relapsing, it's going to save a lot of people's lives, and it's going to make people's lives a lot better. And like I say, I had nothing to turn to. I did tell the doctors, you know, in hospital. I felt really when this thing they did in my liver, put like a little stent, it didn't work. 99% of the times it worked, but with me it didn't. Everything's extreme with me. I was getting this ascites every 3 weeks. I had to go in hospital very early in the morning and get it all drained off. I was in a wheelchair, and I thought I'm never going to get any better. So I said to my daughter, I said, God, I think I just kill myself. And I never told anybody else. I'm telling you now, but it's past now. I mentioned to the doctors, 2 doctors I mentioned to in the hospital, and they didn't take it seriously. They just said, you know, they said, we'll see you, we'll get you referred whenever you did. I just had to pull myself out. You've got to pull yourself back. It's down to you folks to do it, and I'll give you a hand if I can. Right, I'm going to say goodnight now. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks to everybody for joining. Let's make it even better next time. And I'll give you, night-night to everybody. And I'll give you a bit of notice if I can. I'll find out how to do it. Be safe. Cut down by 1 or 2 drinks if you can, yeah? That's the thing you got to do. Cut down, cut down, cut down. Feel better, feel better, feel better. And let's all get fitter and healthier together. Have a good summer. Okay, catch you all later. Take it easy.